Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to understand one very important and interesting topic, time series analysis. Don't worry if the name sounds technical. By the end of this video, you will clearly understand what time series data is, where we use it in real life, and why it is so useful. Have you ever noticed how temperature changes every day? Or how sales change every month? When data changes over time, we call it time series data. So let's first understand what time series data actually means. Time series data is simply data collected over time. Here time can be days, months, years, hours, or even seconds. In mathematics, we write time series data like this: y equal to ft. It just means t is time and y is value we observe at that time t. For example, if t is a day, then yt can be temperature on that day. So day 1 temperature is 30 degrees Celsius, day 2 31 degrees Celsius, or day 3 29 degrees Celsius. This daily temperature record is a perfect example of time series data. Now the second important point in regular time intervals is time series data. We always collect data at equal gaps of time. For example, every day, every month, every year. We usually represent time like this: t equal to 1, 2, 3 up to n. This means t equal to 1 is the first time point, t equal to 2 is the second time point, and so on. And the data sequence or data values look like y1, y2, y3 up to yn. For example, monthly sales of a shop. January sale is 10,000, February 12,000, and March is 15,000. Here the time gap is exactly 1 month between every observation. That is why this is time series data. Order of time matters. This is one of the most important feature of time series data. In simple words, today's value is often influenced by yesterday's values. Mathematically, we can write it yt equal to, it is the function of yt minus 1, yt minus 2, and so on, plus epsilon t. Again, don't worry about formula. Let me explain in simple language. It means today's value depends on past value. In this function we can say today's value depend on the past values plus a small random factor like noise, epsilon t. For example, today's stock price depend on yesterday's price. This month's sale depends on last month's sale. Here yt minus 1, yt minus 2 are the past observations, and epsilon t is random noise like sudden news and weather condition or unexpected events. Because of this dependencies, we cannot shuffle time series data randomly like normal data. So to summarize this slide, time series data is data collected over time. Data is recorded at regular time intervals, and most importantly, the order of time matters. If time matters, it is a time series data. Now that we understand what time series data is, let's make it even clearer using real life examples. First example is monthly sales of a company. The first example is monthly sale of a company. Here the time unit is months and the value we observe is sale. For example, January sales, February sales, and March sales. If you look at this graph, each point shows sales for 1 month. The data is collected month by month, and order is very important. January sales affect February planning, and February sales affect March production. So this is a perfect example of time series data. The second example is daily stock prices. Stock market data is one of the most common time series data. Here time is days, value is stock price. If you look at this stock price graph, you can see prices moving up and down every day. Yesterday's price affects today's price. News, market sentiment, and events add randomness, which we call noise. That is why stock prices are a classic example used in time series data. The third example is yearly GDP of a country. GDP means the total economic output of a country. Here time is year and value is GDP. In this graph, you can see GDP growing over many years. This shows a long-term trend which is very common in time series data. Governments and economists use this data to understand economic growth, make future policies, and forecast future GDP. So yearly GDP is another important time series example. The last example is hourly temperature readings. Here time is hours of the day, value is temperature. If you look at this graph, temperature is low early morning and increasing during the day and decreasing again at night. This representing daily pattern is very common in time series data. Weather forecasting heavily depend on this type of time series data. So the main idea is very simple. If the data is collected over time at regular interval and order of time matters, then it is a time series data. In this slide, I am going to discuss about the difference between time series, cross-sectional and panel data. First, let's talk about time series data. Time series data means data collected for the same unit over different points in time. The most important features are data is ordered, past values can affect future values, order of data matters a lot. Let's look at this example. Monthly sales of one company. Here we are observing one company over many months. January sales are 50 lakh, February sales increase to 55 lakhs, March goes to 60 lakhs and so on. This is time series data because the company is the same, only time is changing and the sequence of months is important. If I change the order of months, the meaning is lost. Therefore, this type of data is known as time series data. Now let's move to cross-sectional data, means data collected at one fixed point in time but for many different units. Important things to remember: time is fixed, units are different, order of data does not matter. For example, income of individuals in 2024. Here we are collecting income data of person A, person B, person C, person D and person E. All data is from the same year 2024. We are not interested in past or future income, only one time point, that is 24. And here the order of people does not matter. If I swap person A and person B, nothing changes. So this is a cross-sectional data, not time series data. Now comes panel data, which is a combination of both time series data and cross-sectional data. In simple words, here many units and many time points. For example, sales of 3 companies over 3 years. Here we have company ABC, sales data for 2022, then 23 and 24. Each company has its own time series. So this data has time series nature and cross-sectional nature. That's why we call it panel data. So it's the combination of both, as I said, and that is why it is known as the panel dataset. Now let's understand what actually makes a time series data move up and down. Any time series data is not random. It is made up of different components. What are components of a time series data? A time series is usually composed of four main components: trend, seasonal, cyclic, and irregular or noise. Let's understand each one using real life example. The first one is trend, that is known as the long term movement. Trend shows the long term direction of the data. If data is slowly increasing over many years, we say it has an upward trend. If it is decreasing, we call it a downward trend. For example, population growth over years. Company sales increasing every year. GDP of a country rising over year. In this graph, we can see a smooth upward line. That line represents the trend. The second is seasonality. Seasonality means a pattern that repeats after a fixed time period. This pattern can repeat every year, every month, every week, or even every day. For example, ice cream sales increase every summer, umbrella sales increase during rainy season, and electricity uses increases during summer. In this graph, we can see regular ups and downs at equal intervals, and that is seasonality. The third component is cyclic. Cyclic patterns look similar to seasonality, but they are not fixed. They happens over long periods, usually years. For example, economic boom and recession, rise and fall of real estate market, business expansion and slowdown. Unlike seasonality, cyclic patterns do not repeat at exact time intervals. Depend on economic conditions. So cyclic patterns also depend on the economic situation or conditions. This graph shows long wave up and down, that is the cyclic movement over a long period of time. The last component is irregular or random component. It is also known as noise. This include random, sudden, or unpredictable changes. Example, lockdowns during the COVID pandemic, natural disasters, and sudden policy changes or unexpected news. So these changes cannot be predicted easily. That's why we call it regular. That's why we call it irregular or noise. So these are the random fluctuations and beyond the control of human hands. Now let's talk about how these components combine. In additive model, we assume total data is equal to trend plus seasonality plus cyclical plus irregular. Mathematical, we can write it as yt is equal to tt denoted by trend component, then st seasonality, ct is for cyclic, and it represents the irregular component. This model is used when seasonal changes remain constant over time. For example, sales increase by about the same amount every festival season. In the multiplicative model, we assume total data is like this. It is the multiplication of all the components. This model is used when seasonal fluctuations increase as the data grows. For example, as company sales grows, festival season sales increases by a large amount of each year. So let me make it very simple. If seasonal effect is constant, additive model is important, or we can use additive model. If seasonal effect grows with data, then multiplicative model is the best choice. In this slide, we are going to discuss about the assumptions of time series model. Before we start forecasting or building any time series model, we must understand one important thing. Every model works under certain assumptions. If these assumptions are not satisfied, our predictions can be completely wrong. So let's start with the most important assumptions in time series analysis, that is stationarity. What does stationarity means? Stationarity means the behavior of the data does not change over time. In simple words, average value remain constant, variance remain the same, and patterns look stable over time. Imagine you check daily temperature in a room with AC. The temperature fluctuates but around the same average. That data is stationary. Now look at the stock prices. They usually keep increasing or decreasing over time. That is why data is not stationary. In this graph, the upper line stock prices is a non-stationary, and the lower fluctuation line is stationary. Most time series models work only on stationary data. So that is why stationary assumption is one of the most important assumptions in the time series models. The second assumption is linearity. Linearity means the present value depends linearly on past values. In simple words, today's values is the some combination of past values. The relationship is straightforward, not complex. For example, if sales were high last month, this month's sales will also be influenced. Many classical models like AR, autoregressive, and MA, moving average, assume this linear relationship. The next assumption is independent error. Errors means the difference between actual value and predicted value. Independent errors means error should not be related to each other over time. In simple terms, today's error should not affect tomorrow's error. If errors follow a pattern, it means the model is missing something important. That is why we want errors to behave like random noise. Constant variance homoscedasticity. The next assumption is constant variance, also called homoscedasticity. This means the spread of errors should remain constant over time. For example, errors should not become bigger as time increases. They should stay evenly spread. If error variance keep increasing, the model become unreliable. So why these assumptions matter? You might be thinking, why do we care so much about these assumptions? Because they help us trust our predictions. They tell us whether a model is suitable or not. Violating any assumption leads to poor forecasting. So in practice, we often transform data, take differences, remove trends or seasonality just to satisfy these assumptions. Let's now talk about the main purpose of time series analysis, that is forecasting. Forecasting simply means predicting future values using past and present values. For example, predicting next month's sales, estimating tomorrow's temperature, and forecasting stock prices. In time series analysis, forecasting is based on historical pattern, trends and seasonality, and statistical models. In simple words, we look at the past to understand the future. Now, there are mainly two types of forecasting. One is short-term forecasting and long-term forecasting. First is short-term forecasting. Here, forecast horizon is a few days to a few months. Business examples are a daily store predicting next week's production demand, a bank estimating daily ATM cash requirement, a bank estimating daily ATM cash requirements, a factory predicting next month's raw material needs. Short-term forecasts depend heavily on recent data and require higher accuracy. Now let's talk about long-term forecasting. Here forecasting horizon is several months to many years. Focus is one strategic planning. More emphasis on trend and direction, not exact values. The business examples are companies forecasting sales growth for the next 5 years, government predicting population growth, and energy companies estimating long-term electric demand. You might wonder, why is forecasting so important? Here are some simple reasons. Better for decision making, proper resource planning, and reduce banking risk. Without forecasting, businesses and governments would be making decision blindly. So that is why forecasting is one of the most important feature in time series analysis. For forecasting, different models are used depending on the time horizon. For short-term forecasting, knife forecasting, moving averages, exponential smoothing, and short horizon ARIMA. So these models are commonly used for the short-term forecasting. In the case of the long-term forecasting, we can use common models like trend projection models, regression-based forecasting, ARIMA with trend components, and scenario-based forecasting. Don't worry if these names sound complex, we will understand them step by step in later videos. So remember, short-term forecasting is used for operational decisions and need high accuracy. In case of the long-term forecasting, it needs strategic planning and focus on trend. Forecasting helps us convert data into decision. Let's move on next slide. Many students think white noise and stationary data are the same. They are related, but they are not the same thing. Let's understand this difference very clearly. First, let's talk about white noise. White noise is a time series that is purely random, has no pattern, has no predictability. In simple words, white noise is just noise, nothing meaningful inside it. Key properties of white noise. White noise has some key properties. Mean is 0. It means value fluctuate around 0. Variance is constant. It means spread does not change. And no autocorrelation. Past value give no information about future values. And completely random. Think of static noise on a radio or tossing a coin again and again. There is no pattern you can learn from. Mathematically, white noise is written as F silent follow, F silent T follow, white noise with mean 0 and variance sigma square. Here variance is constant and values are random. What is a stationary time series? Now let's understand a stationary time series. A time series is called stationary if its statistical properties remain constant over time. In simple language, average value stays the same. Average value stays the same. Variance stays the constant or the same. Relationship between values depend only on time gap, not on actual time. So stationary data has constant mean, constant variation or constant variance. Autocovariance depend only on lag. Stationary data has constant mean, constant variance. Autocovariance depend only on lag. So daily temperature fluctuations around an average value is a controlled environment. There is some pattern, but the behaviors stay stable over time. Now listen carefully. This is very important. White noise is always stationary, but stationary data is not always white noise. Because white noise has no pattern at all. Stationary data may still have some structure or dependence. So white noise is a special case of stationary data. This concept is very important because most models assume data is stationary. Model errors should behave like white noise. If residuals are white noise, it means the model has captured all useful patterns. In practice, we use tools like ACF and PACF plots to check stationarity and identify white noise behavior. And we will study these tools in upcoming videos. Move on to the next slide. Now it is time to test your understanding. I have prepared a small quiz on everything we discussed so far. Pause the video, think carefully and try to answer. Let me show your score in the comment section. To every correct answer of your question, I will give like to every correct answer in the comment section. I will give like to to each of your correct answer. If this quiz helped you understand this basic of time series better, like the video, share it with your friends, subscribe for more such easy explanation. See you in the next video.